Okay, good morning, everyone. And once again, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And welcome to our first Unity Reflect webinar of the year. So this morning, Morne Fouche, our visualization and media application engineer, will be showcasing a few methods on how AR can impact design and construction in cases like renovation or construction visualization. So as it goes through the webinar, please feel free to make notes on your side. And if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat. There will definitely be time at the end of the webinar for us to discuss any feedback that you have or any questions that you may have. So I know time is limited for everybody. It's a short week. So we're just going to let Morne jump into it and get started. And once again, thanks for joining us. Morne, over to you.
Thank you very much, Nick, for that introduction. So today, who will be joining us, as you've heard, Nick King, our Product and Marketing Officer. Then we have Michiel Oudendal, our Technical Manager, Customer Success Manager, and Applications Engineer. And then myself as the Visualization Application Engineer. What we'll be looking at today is we'll do a brief introduction into Unity Reflect with its advantages. We'll do the Unity Reflect interface, just a quick look around on the interface itself. Then we're going to do our AR demonstration and showcase a couple of uses that the AR gives you. And then we'll have our questions and answers after that. Looking at Unity Reflect is an immersive viewer that allows you to visualize a concept, visualize a project from start to finish in real time. And it gives you the ability to showcase to the stakeholders who might not be technically inclined to really showcase to them what the end product will look like. So it will give us a very good idea of the project we're running, and it will unify and add to our communication as our project moves forward. Unity reflects a means for us to streamline that communication because now everybody has that same vision going into the project. Some of the advantages of using Unity Reflect. First, you can view your model from anywhere. Using any device, it works on Android, iOS, Windows. You can use it on a desktop, on a tablet. So we'll be showcasing a tablet today as well as your phone. So again, now you can view these models from anywhere with anyone. It makes it a lot easier. It's easy to use and set up. There isn't a very big learning curve to Unity Reflect, and it is a very powerful program. You also have a one-to-many license type, meaning if you have a license to Unity Reflect, you can share this model even though the client does not have a Unity Reflect license. What we'll be looking at in our first section here is what the phasing is, how we can change our views, our time and date settings, as well as our location, and then a live link and real-time changes syncing in Unity Reflect. So let's quickly hop onto that. As you can see here, I have my Revit model open, as well as my Unity Reflect model. If I just make this a little bit larger, we could see our interface more properly. So the first thing is you can firstly see this with textures or without textures. And if we're looking at our phasing here, we can turn on and off certain phases. So for example, if I go to my phase creation here, if I just want to see the bare bones of my building as it stands now, now I can see only that. Now we can add our phasing towards that, creating a more unique view of our building. And we can see our objects inside on our phases as well. But it doesn't end there. I can, for example, switch off my ceilings. I can switch off my roofs. So now I can see into my building and start looking at what we'll be demonstrating today, which is over here, our canteen area. So again, it gives you a very good view of what you're busy with. We can also set our time and dates. So for example, if I want to see how this would look, let's say 10 o'clock in the morning. So there we go. Now I can see what it looks like at this point in time in our building. We can also set our latitude and longitude, as well as our north-facing angles. So again, giving us a very good idea of what the building will look like in location. Another good thing we have, if I, for example, click on one of my objects here, now I can see all of the BIM data allocated towards that model I just opened. So again, you're getting a lot of information with this app. And another nice feature we have as well, besides the stuff I showed you now, is we have a live application changing. So for example, if I go and I switch my roofs back on, I can in real time update my roof's material and there we go. Now I can see that my roofs have updated and they're carrying their new materials. So you have a true live link to your Revit model as you're changing things and moving about. Another feature we have, if you click at the bottom here, you can switch to normal desktop mode, AR or VR if you have a VR set connected. At this moment, I do not, as well as your AR view right over here. And this is the point where I'm going to give over to Michiel, my man on the ground, and he's going to showcase to you guys the power that this AR button has in our very own office building here. So Michiel, over to you.
Thanks, Morne. Now, to make sure no one is confused, I'm using Morne's account and I'm on my iPad in the office. So let me just share my screen. Okay, I hope everyone can see the AR app or the app on my iPad. Now, again, you've got the same functionality as in the desktop application. We can again see our browser structure and filter up any of our objects we don't need or want to see. And again, our sun settings and dials. On top of that, we've synced just a specific view with Unity itself. So it's only a portion of the bigger structure. So you don't actually have to just sync your whole building. You can just do selective areas. Now, what we're going to look at is the AR app in the bottom right corner. If I go AR, you actually have multiple options you can operate with. Now, typically the tabletop one on the right-hand side is the most common option for AR, which allows you to just put your AR model on a table, on the floor, and people can just walk around on a smaller scale model. Then you got the two other ones, the view match and the corner match. These will give you one-to-one scales. Now, I'm not going to do the view match one. I'm going to focus on the corner match. So I'm going to select that. Now, just basically, as you can see, has at the bottom a little bit of a navigation setup that you can follow. So I can click OK. And the first option is select the floor. That'll be my floor I'm going to operate. It's going to ask me for a wall on wall one wall. So I can just navigate, make sure I can select the wall. Okay, and you can see it highlights. And the same with the other wall for my secondary wall. And that creates a corner in the room. And that's what ultimately will sync up with the geometry or once I go into the AR view. So that's the first setup. The second setup is actually navigating towards that. And then we use little markers, and it struggles to pick up the paint. So that's why we just place some papers down. And then also on this corner, there we go, select. So now I can just kind of show you guys our corner is slightly out of alignment, and it's most likely due to kind of the modeling and things like that. So I can say, okay. But there I basically have an able. Now to give it a little bit of a real floor, the ceiling of my walls, and just close. Is the viewer, the browser. What this room could look like with the new furniture placed in match, but it gives you a good idea of what a trust in the corner here as I switch off the inside walls and things like that. I would say that's as simple as that. The syncing quite easy to navigate. Morne, back to you. Hi, can you guys hear me now? Apparently I lost connection.
That's it. We can hear you properly now.
Okay, so let's go through it again. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let's navigate back. So I'm going to go through it quickly again. So just going to the AR option, I'm going to use the corner match. Let's just go all the way back. Okay, so corner match, and in the setup, I need to actually activate everything again. Okay, so it'll prompt you at the bottom to get started for real world setup. So I can say, okay, the first one I'll ask for is my floor, and then the walls after that. So I can say that'll be the floor I'm working with. That'll be my wall A, and there will be wall B. And it'll give me a corner position that I would like to sync up. So, okay. After that, we can navigate to the floor itself, and you can see the AR detection of the floor level. I can say, okay, there. And then I'm going to use these papers as a little bit of placeholder items to pick up the face of the wall. And the same with this one for wall B. Just zooming in and out. There we go. And then if I navigate back, we can see kind of that corner placement. It's really close. So, okay, and there we go. A one-to-one scale of the project in AR. So now I can just go and say switch off.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm not too sure what's happening with the connection there with Michiel. Morne, do you want to carry on from there? Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Thanks.
Okay, so we've had a bit of a connection issue, but I think what we've showcased at this point really goes to show as to what you can do with the AR model, as well as with the VR, as well as with your mobile connections. So with that said, is there any questions that anybody has that we can answer?
Shem, there's no questions popping up in the chats. Guys, please feel free. We open any questions you have, anything for Michiel or Morne, please feel free to put it in the chat. We're here to help you guys. Thank you. Okay, all good. Thanks, Robert.
Thank you very much. I saw that you sent a couple of messages in the chat bar, Robert. I really appreciate that.
Okay, Shamal, if there's no questions, then yeah, Sham, we just want to thank you guys for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. And apologies for the glitches, but you know what we'll do is we'll also send the recording of this and along with some more info about what Morne and Michiel also went through, and then you can also feel free to ask us any questions and follow up from there. Perfect. Okay. Once again, thank you very much, everyone. Morne, thank you very much. Michiel, thank you very much. It really just goes to show what Unity Reflect can do. And like I said, we will be sending you guys the recording along with more info, and stay in touch and ready for the next one. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much, Nick, for your
Morne.
assistance. And everybody, I hope you have an awesome day. And I hope that you are ready for this next Friday tomorrow and have a lovely day further.